Ocean City's roots as a dry town came as a result of rampant alcoholism in the 1800s, which inspired something called the temperance movement, a coalition of Methodist women who encouraged people to drink less.
In the mid-1800s, drinking seemed to kick up in this country. Alcohol was mass-produced, it was cheap, and it was getting stronger. And women didn't go into bars. So it was just the men who were doing this, and the women felt it was creating an atmosphere of domestic violence, of poverty, and death. So they banded together to really educate the country on the dangers of alcohol. This is pre-Alcoholics Anonymous. When women didn't vote, but the women were the driving force behind educating everybody of the dangers of alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, they even took it further with that Carrie Nation and her Hatchets. She used to go in and knock down saloons and stuff.
Between 1900 and 1910, Carrie Nation is arrested more than 30 times. But it doesn't dissuade her from what she sees as a divine calling.
She would start chopping up bar rooms, chopping up the beer barrels.
And drugstores, because pharmacies would sell medications that were laced with alcohol. So it was almost, okay, get my drink there, I'm going to get my drink here. And suffragists would go in and hatchet up the bars.
The husbands must have been really pissed off.
I would think.
Just imagine, it's 1905 and you've been working your off all day at the shoe cobbler depot, paper mill, or tire factory just to finally unwind with the boys and knock back a couple cold ones at the local saloon. Seemingly from out of nowhere, your wife and all of your homies' wives kick open the doors, spaghetti western outlaw style, and rush into the bar like a SWAT team, all wielding hatchets and screaming at the top of their lungs. The terrified bartender, who's been indoctrinated by a rigid honor code, watches in disbelief as they all vault over the bar top and destroy his entire inventory, hatcheting dozens of whiskey bottles as glass shards fly around the room and they shriek like a pack of wild hyenas.
The men just stood there by the side and just watched her because it was considered ungentlemanly for them to fight back against a woman.
Once every last bottle, flask, and shot glass has been reduced to a pile of glass and rubble, your wife approaches you and grabs you by the arm, leaving you with a final message. Get in the car. We're going to Ocean City. That was a reality in 1905.
Yeah, you would have thought that women would have gone for the vote first and then the power to change this, but when your family's being impacted, maybe that's not how you think. Let's just get this changed now. And this is my day-to-day living, because the family was dependent on the man's income. And if he's spending his income on alcohol and staying away from the family in bars, that's got to impact how that family develops. And the examples that it set for the males in that family, that this was an okay behavior. And then that impacts the paycheck. And that impacts food, so it's really basic things that you need: a roof over your head, food on your table, and here's a man who's had so much alcohol he cannot perform.